The self is supremely simple. It is supremely simple inasmuch as the nature of being is entirely non-objective. Therefore, the realization of the self is utterly transcendent of all kinds of perception pertaining to the senses, and all kinds of conception, any permutation of thought pertaining to the mind. The realization of the single, simple, indivisible truth is always a matter of identity. To reveal this for those seeking liberation from the imagined bondage of misidentification, the Upanishads declare by way of instruction, Tattvamasi, that you are. To point out the very substance of this realization, the Upanishads declare Prajnana Brahma. Supreme knowledge is Brahman. Or we may say, consciousness itself is Brahman. To reveal what it is that is to be realized, the Upanishads declare, I am Atma Brahman. This self is Brahman. And to indicate experience, they declare, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. The purpose of these Mahavakyas, great aphorisms, and other instruction, indeed the purpose of the entirety of spiritual instruction, is the realization of the self. That is, what your nature actually is. All that is necessary is a profound inquiry. Who am I? As the Maharshi has taught, primary in this inquiry, to know yourself, it is imperative that you abide free of misidentification with the body. This is inclusive of falsely defining yourself in terms of any bodily attribute, bodily quality, bodily activity, bodily conditions such as life and death. Free of the body, what are you? Can you be measured in time and space? Free of the body, what becomes of the so-called perception of the world in multiplicity? If you are not the body, what are you? And where is bondage? What would be the cause of suffering? Suffering seems to be there, the experience, as long as you regard yourself as bound. What else is bondage but ignorance? And ignorance in any form is just the many flavors of misidentification, confusing what is not yourself with what you actually are. Such confusion is only in the mind. It is the mind's imagination. So it is imperative for the realization of the simple truth of your being to abide free from the superimposition of whatever is conceived upon yourself. That is, cease to regard anything that is constituted of thought as being your nature. If you are free of the mind, what state do you have? Do you wake? Do you dream? Do you sleep? To be free of every state of mind is also to be free of the content of those states. The dreaming state is all the dreaming character and the character's experience, the dreaming world, and so forth and so on. Similar is it with the waking state. If you are not the mind, what is thought? If you are not the mind, how will you conceive of a distance between yourself and supreme knowledge? Or where will you keep your ignorance? The very assumption of existing as an individual entity or ego should be inquired into. What is it that constitutes I? Who is it that says or thinks, I? If you inquire into the nature of the apparently individualized self, the individuality, being unreal, will entirely vanish. Then there is no seed from which misidentification can sprout. That is, there is no cause for ignorance and consequently no effect of illusion. What remains is that which has existed always and has alone existed. That which is a product of imagination has no actual existence at all. So that when bondage is destroyed, when ignorance is destroyed, nothing real has been destroyed. When the ego has died, no one has really died. And when the truth is realized, when the realization is gained, nothing has actually been acquired. For whom would there be bondage and liberation, loss and gain? That which you are can never be thought of. It is entirely non-objective, just pure being, consciousness, bliss. It is without birth and without destruction. For it, nothing is created. And for it, nothing disappears. That which you are can never be conceived. Being such, how could any idea that you are different from it, or separated from it, or that there is an obstruction between you and that, how can such ideas survive? How could they possibly have even an iota of truth in them? Using the end itself as the means, inquire deeply as to who you are. And the self knows itself. Brahman knows Brahman, for this self is Brahman. I am Atma Brahman. Free of misidentification, abide in the knowledge of yourself, with the self-evident wisdom that declares that you cannot possibly be otherwise.